Good morning and welcome to another sunny, beautiful day here in Bridgetown, Barbados. You're joining us for the Regional Police Cricket Tournament, and we're on to day number 3 of action. Today, it's the turn of Antigua and Barbuda. They're taking on Trinidad and Tobago. Both teams, well, they haven't started the competition in terms of how they would like to. Both teams lost their opening game. But we do know that both will be hoping to bounce back and get some points on the board as we head towards that final that we played at Kensington Oval come Easter Monday. My name is Joel Manning, and alongside me is Donovan Lovell to take you through what should be some great action here at the Weymouth Cricket Club. Good morning, Donovan. How are you doing?
Good morning to you. Good morning to our listeners, wherever you are. Thanks for joining us. I'm indeed not too bad. Good sunny conditions here, no doubt. Both teams looking to record a victory. Um, Conditions in immaculate condition. I must say the outfield is looking lovely. And the pitch, based on the games that were played here before, pretty bouncy, pretty good, even bounce for the bowlers. And once you decide to bat, you can get some runs on it. So conditions looking really, really well, and all fit, hopefully, for an interesting game.
Hopefully, indeed. A couple clouds were with us this morning. They dropped a few sprinkles, but nothing too serious, and we're ready to get underway. Trinidad and Tobago, they won the toss, and they'll be having a field first here this morning. As Donovan mentioned, a bit of bounce on offer in this surface yesterday. The Barbados Police Service took advantage of that and recorded a victory, their second victory of this tournament. Opted to start with a bit of spin and a pace. A look at those teams, Antigua and Barbuda. It'll be the pair of Jones and Marcelin to get things opened for them. They got 145 yesterday versus St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And they'll be certainly hoping to get that, probably plus more here this morning. A lovely outfield. The umpire said it's time for play. Let's have ball number 1 on day number 3. And it starts with a wide. Getting things started for Trinidad and Tobago is Darius Besai. Certainly not the start that I'd be hoping for here, Donovan.
Certainly not. Easy going so far in terms of the batsmen not having to play wide outside the off stump, and 2 runs easily gifted. And obviously, you want to start a little better than that. But it's early days. He's now into his over, so hopefully he can finish well.
A lot better from him. The first legal delivery of this game yesterday was a bit of swing on offer for the seamers, and with the conditions, a bit of breeze here to Weymouth. You probably might think that the bowlers at the top of the order might also be afforded that swing. Thought they probably could have had a stumping down the leg side, but instead signaled wide by the umpire.
Good work here by the wicketkeeper going down the leg side. Beautiful take. And bringing off a nice looking stumping, but not out, said Mr. Blaze. The batsman is firm in his ground. A little wayward start here for the Trinidadian bowler who's operating from the southern end. Needs to find his target and find it quite quickly.
Just back of a length there, just a bit of a bounce, as we mentioned. 2 fielders out to get things started in this power play. Long off and a man sweeping on the cover boundary. So probably looking to just keep it outside of that off stump for this over. Might probably consider just getting a touch fuller. A loud appeal, but the umpire says not out. So just getting it fuller, as I mentioned, asking a question or two.
Yeah, certainly. Now getting into his work, more or less. But that one was pitched up. Good length delivery. And the batsman looking to go across the line. Missed it. But umpire Sheena Welch said, no, I'm sorry, not out.
Can't get any bat on that one. But certainly finding his lines now beside a lot tighter and a lot fuller, and probably causing improved problems here in this first over for Antigua and Barbuda.
As you can see, there's a little green on the pitch, which can cause the ball to seam about a bit.
Any fast bowler looking at the surface would certainly enjoy the color there. The end, actually no, just one delivery left in the over, in this first over. Certainly any fast bowler at the start of the morning looking at a surface like that might have a smile on too.
Oh, certainly, but this picture normally offers you some good even bounce. So as I said, you can bat, you can score runs, and once you bend your bat, you get something out of it.
At the end of the first over, no runs off the bat, but 3 runs offered in wides, 3 without loss after 1.
Yes, indeed. He started a bit wayward, but he finished off quite beautifully. Some good test and probing deliveries just outside the off stump. So he is now hopefully fully into his job, and we should hopefully see from that end again a much better over from him. But as you said, 3 without loss, not a bad over to start.
Yeah, certainly not a bad over, as you mentioned. Found his lines after those first couple deliveries. Got a bit straighter, and just a touch outside of that off stump in terms of the movement and offer this morning. It's a pair beside at the other end. It's going to be Justin Joseph. We saw yesterday Barbados opted to go with a combination of spin and pace. Same thing here for Trinidad and Tobago. I guess we do see that, especially in limited overs format, spinners usually being introduced quite early in the piece.
Yes, certainly. Pace off the ball early tends to work. Most batsmen would like the ball coming on so they can go through the line of it. But as you said, most teams opt in for spin and pace. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes here for the Trinidadian side.
Yeah, looking at the field, I'm telling myself, looking to be quite straight in terms of getting around, probably around middle and off or so. There's a man out, what would be a deep mid-wicket corner position. And a long on. That starts one just outside the off stump, so left arm around the wicket for Justin Joseph. Quite similar to Venice Vaughan yesterday for the Barbados Police Service. Vaughan, in fact, bowled his 4 over straight, 1 for 20. And Joseph probably looking like he will do the same here today.
Well, a beautiful start, as we can see that bounce that we spoke about earlier. That one certainly did bounce a bit.
Keeping it tight. No room offered outside of that off stump, really beating the bat. And it's really been a good start for Joseph.
Indeed, good pace on the delivery as well. Slowing it up, giving it a chance to spin.
That bounce once again, and from a length as well, which probably tells us that in terms of shots making at the start of this innings, it could be just a tad bit difficult maybe for Antigua and Barbuda. This is certainly good stuff by Joseph. Just exactly what his captain would have wanted from him this morning.
Indeed, a very good start. Good lines. His lines are good. The lengths are good. That in between length where you can't drive.
The end of a maiden over. Maiden over of gold, you would have to say, in a T20 encounter. 3 without loss.
Certainly a very good start by Joseph. The ball spun, it bounced a bit, and the lengths were good. The line was immaculate. As I said, in between length, where you find it difficult to get under the ball, to hit it, where you can't drive, you can only look to defend, and the ball bounced and spun past the back on 2 occasions. So indeed, a very good start for young Joseph and the Trinidad and Tobago side.
Certainly also keeping it out of that swinging arc. If you think about the wind and the direction of the wind, it's coming towards the leg side of the batter, which means that anything probably straight or short could probably come down this way. So he certainly has kept things tight and bowled well to start.
Yes, indeed.
Beside to continue. A loud appeal, and umpire Welch says yes, and that's the first wicket down for Antigua and Barbuda.
Yes, indeed, that one bounced a bit. Good line, good length. He played at it, took an edge, and the keeper standing up took a beautiful catch, and that's the first wicket for the Trinidad and Tobago side, and they're indeed happy, because that's a good start for them.
Yeah, always a good start when you can pick up a wicket very early in the piece. 3 for 1, the score now. A good catch, you would have to say, by the keeper standing up to the stump, just pushing at one outside of the off stump. They're happy. Trinidad are happy. First wicket down is Jerron Jones. He has to go without scoring. 3 for 1.
Well, yes, indeed, a very good start here by the Trinidad and Tobago side. He started his first over a bit wayward, but he finished well, and he started the second over, and he started back on target, which gave him the results that he wanted, and no doubt the Trinidadian side also wanted.
Yeah, certainly starting as he finished that first over. Probably guilty of just pushing out at that one was Jones in that in-between area, neither forward or back. Hands just going away from the body and paying the ultimate price for it. A new batter to the crease, Malik Gerald. The only runs so far for Antigua and Barbuda have come in the form of wides. Looking to set that feel right, getting the offside feel correct. This ground has been running well, so anything past them could possibly be a boundary. And that will be the first runs off the bat for Antigua and Barbuda. They go to Gerald. Certainly very cool conditions here at Weymouth. Yesterday was a bit steamy, especially in the afternoon session, but a nice cool morning and fantastic conditions for cricket, you would have to say.
Yeah, yes indeed, a lovely breeze sweeping across the ground as you look in the distance to our south. Lovely blue skies, and indeed right away around. Beautiful conditions here. Normally a very picturesque ground with the trees and stuff like that, and indeed it's all set for an interesting day of cricket here at the Weymouth ground.
You talk about directions, you mentioned south. Which direction are you saying is south here, Don?
That's straight ahead. If you look up to the QEH, the local hospital in that area, that general area.
Goes full and gets it under the bat. And you certainly expect that type of bowling, or that type of length from your fast bowler, opting to go for what would have been a York on that particular occasion, just outside the off stump. Back and cuts it. A bit of a misfield means that they get one. I just mentioned that if it were to beat that inner ring, it certainly would be 4 here at Weymouth, but good field placing. I did mention that they started the over trying to get that offside ring correct.
Yeah, certainly. It certainly runs off quickly here at the Weymouth facility. So anything past the ring inside would take some chasing.
Probably sliding down the leg side on that particular occasion, says umpire Welch. He's really varied his lengths well in this over. The first delivery was back of a length that took the wicket, and since then it's been a variation of full and just back of a length for Basai. One delivery left in his second over. A quick single to close it out. At the end of over number 3, 6 for 1.
Yes, indeed. A good over again here by Basai, who has settled into his work quite nicely. Good areas again, just there about the off stump. With that bounce that you're seeing, and the ball seems to be seaming around a bit, but he bowls some decent areas, and again, very good over from him, and a good start from the Trinidad and Tobago side. Yes. Early days yet, so obviously the Antigua and Barbudan batsmen can just keep their eyes on it, push it around, see what they can get early, and then later on they can always, as they say, push on once that opportunity is given to them.
Yeah, that certainly could be the approach here. I think back to the game yesterday with the Cayman Islands, and they struggled a bit at the start, and then Ravi Prasad came in at number 5, I believe it was, and kicked on with a 55 off 29. So as long as they don't lose too many wickets at the start, collect those singles, there could be some runs on offer for them in the back end of this one. Joseph bang on the mark. Again, he's really not missed so far in this 1.1 overs that he's bowled.
Certainly a good start from him. Accurate so far.
Well, the first shot in aggression, and it is a fumble, a juggle, but it dropped at long on. He thought he had it in his hand. He did for a moment in his hand, he did for a moment in his legs, but it touched the grass and went down.
Indeed, he got there easily, he settled, and it was in and it was out. It was in, then out again. He tried desperately with no avail to get it.
Swept away nicely, and that will be the first boundary of the morning for Antigua and Barbuda.
The first delivery that's been offline from Joseph, that one pitched between middle and leg, and the batsman came inside and just easily swept it around the corner down behind square for a good looking shot. First ball that he had bowled so far that was not bang on target.
Yeah, certainly just heading down on that angle left arm coming around the wicket. The wind as well pushing that ball down the leg side. Not really looking to turn it much, obviously on that particular occasion. Going on with the arm and picked up nicely off the back of Marcelin. A string again, this time called wide by umpire Blades. Well, this one's in the air, should be an easy catch. It is indeed, and that is his second wicket down for Antigua and Barbuda. He's not happy, but Trinidad and Tobago, they are certainly celebrating.
Yes, indeed. Seemed to have been deceived somewhat by that delivery. Caught maybe in between. Wanting to go for the drive, still wanting to play a defensive shot, caught in the middle, as they would say, and in the end, gifted an easy catch to the man at cover, who ran in and took it gleefully. And 12 for 2, the Antigua and Barbuda side might be, even though it's early days, might be in a slight bit of bother here at the Weymouth ground.
Yeah, batting first into over and number 4. You certainly don't want to be 2 wickets down, especially with the score just being 12. As you mentioned, just caught in between 2 minds. Probably could have gone through with that shot, especially with the ring in, gotten it over the cover. Wouldn't have gone to the boundary, but it could have collected maybe 1 or 2 on that particular occasion. They say a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, and he lost his wicket on that particular occasion. Just a simple catch, popped
Easy
up
catch.
To cover. And early trouble for Antigua and Barbuda. The new batter to the crease, Damon Valentine. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Weymouth Cricket Ground here in Bridgetown, Barbados. This morning is the turn of Trinidad and Tobago. They're taking on Antigua and Barbuda. Trinidad and Tobago, they won the toss and opted to field first. Conditions, you would have to say, maybe the reason behind that particular decision. A left-hand, right-hand combination at the crease now. And Joseph comes over the wicket to him, and an easy single to get him off the mark. Think about 2. And get there quite easily in the end. So good running from this pair.
Certainly good running. The fielder at passing the field at short mid-wicket. The fielder on the deep mid-wicket boundary not getting in quickly enough. And they saw the opportunity to take 2. And indeed, that was good running by the Antigua and Barbuda batsmen.
Offline and helped around the corner. This outfield has been running, and that gets to the boundary as well. So they end off the over in good fashion at the end of 4, 18 for 2.
Joseph guilty of strain. Maybe the left-handed batsman throwing him off in terms of his line, and that one was heading down the leg side. And easily put away for 4 by the Antigua and Barbudian batsman.
Yeah, certainly easy task for him there. Just need to get a bit of bat onto that one, especially at the pace of that particular delivery from Joseph. The boundaries are starting to come slowly for Antigua and Barbuda after the start that they got. It's going to be a change of bowling from that south end. A bit more spin being introduced into the contest. And over the years, having followed cricket, I'm still a young man, but in terms of the cricket I've watched, Trinidad and Tobago certainly have been known for producing quite a few spinners, Donovan.
Yes, certainly. The surface they normally play on in Trinidad as well is very, very, very likable by the spinners at the Queen's Park Oval, where they do well there. The pitch normally takes a lot of spin and bunks there.
So the bowler will be Damian Brown. And he fires that one in. Oh, that was quick, Donovan. That's
a
fast.
Quick one. That's a quick one. But the important thing that it was not only quick, but it was on target and forcing the batsman to hurriedly play that 4 defensive stroke.
Yeah, we were looking for one to turn, maybe bounce. Fires that one in again, and it's fired to the boundary off the bat of Malik Gerald.
Indeed, a very good-looking shot. Pacey delivery. We got on the front foot and drove beautifully between a cover and extra cover, and it just sped away across this quick outfield into the boundary for 4, no doubt. Good-looking shot, but if you're going to bowl, or you're going to bowl that quickly, and then the batsman might just said, well, you know what, I'm going to play him like a pacer, or medium pacer, where he can go to the line of the ball. Because the pitch is good.
Yeah, the pitch certainly is good, and the execution on that particular occasion was better from Gerald. Fires that one in again. It looks as if this could be his modus operandi here, Donovan.
Yeah, some slow spinners like to just get the arm going loose, see what's happening on the surface before they actually start to spin the ball.
Worked away. A bit of a bubble and a fumble. Short mid-wicket allows them to come through for one. The running will certainly be key as well here at Weymouth. Brings the left-handed Valentine into strike. He's 6 off of 2. A quick look at that strike rate tells me he's going at 300. You'll be hoping that that can continue for him if that's the base that he set for himself. An interesting look at the field now, opting to bring the man that was originally at square leg for the left-hander to what is a mid-wicket. The long on is back. The man at cover sweeping on the boundary. This is the first one he slowed up.
So indeed, we were correct. He's trying to just to get his arms going, get loose, see what the pitch is offering before he decides to, as he did that delivery, just slow it up, get the ball to spin past the left-hander.
Well, closes it out with another quick one. At the end of over number 5 at 23 for 2.
Yes, indeed, we have to watch him again if he comes a second time around in terms of bowler second over. But he started rather quickly in terms of getting that ball in the block hole. He slowed up 1 or 2, but it seems as though he's going to mix it up from that end. So we have to pay attention to see how he goes in the second over. 23 for 2 tells me that 5 overs gone, still a lot of overs to go. So the Antiguans can quite well just hang in and bat a little further down, see what they can get after probably 10, and then they can go from there again. As I welcome the evergreen, non-aging Andrew Mason.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Good morning to you. Good morning to all. Antigua and Barbuda, 23 for 2, under some pressure. Hello to all of our viewers across the world. I know that there's tremendous interest in this competition, and I know the organizers are quite happy with the kind of coverage that they've had from the local media. In fact, it was on VOB's in terms of the actual sports this morning. It was the lead story. So I'm sure that Trevor Griffith and his wonderful committee will be happy about the coverage. I know that my friends in Antigua and Barbuda, we tend to leave out Barbuda sometimes, you know, they're very much locked on. There's a lady who is next to me who is from Barbuda. Are you from Barbuda? She says no. All right, maybe she's from Erlins, where Sir Andy Roberts is. All right, a lovely flowing shot, ball pitched up, driven away wide of that long off area, and it's gone away for 4. So Donovan Lovell is with me. The situation is that the Antiguans would want to get a move on here.
Certainly a good-looking shot there, ball pitched up and driven beautifully over the top. Early days yet in terms of overs remaining. 2 wickets down. If they can probably consolidate and bat 2, 3 or 4 more overs to see where that puts them, and then they can have a go in the end.
So Michael Riley is the bowler, and Gerald is on 12. Partnership that is realized just 15, but the rate is 5.06. And no doubt Antigua and Barbuda will be hoping that these two can steady the rocking ship. This is the period where they've got to ensure they don't lose too many wickets here. So the Antiguans reckon that they've got a good side and will certainly try to be the big guns, so to speak, in this competition. Let's see what happens. It started back in 2010, and on that occasion, there were just 2 teams involved, but it will show you how this competition has actually evolved. The defending champions, Barbados, the last time it was played would have been back in 2019, but we all know what happened in terms of COVID. No tournament in 2020, no tournament in 2021, no tournament in 2022, but we're very much here. Solutions originally scheduled to be here, but because of the situation in terms of their crime, they're not here, but of course, they're very much with us in spirit and biblically and in truth as well. So 28 for 2. 4 balls gone, make that 5 in the over. Just 5 runs coming, and Riley, a medium pace, will want to finish strongly here. Big appeal for catch on the wicket, and Valentine not living up to his name. You can't be Valentine and get out like that. He's gone. Gone, and more trouble for Antigua and Barbuda. They're under the cosh here. And it's now 28 for 3. Good sharp delivery from Riley. The outside edge found. Catch taken. More trouble. Antigua 28 for 3.
Yeah, certainly that one.
Certainly came from the top of the bat.
Yeah, I made a little more height. It was a quicker delivery. Bounced a bit more. And it took the edge. A good healthy edge taken. Well taken by the keeper, and Antigua and Barbuda in more trouble here. They're going dire straits here, losing their 3rd wicket with only 28 on the board. And Samuel, as they would say, needs to come to the party that they can get a decent score that they can defend. But so far, it's all Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, when you look at that scoreboard, I mean, Jones, 7 balls, rather labored, didn't score. Marcelin got 5 from 10. And, but Gerald, he has put his hand up to some extent, although his rate is not the best. Importantly, he's at the crease. He's got 13. And Marillion now comes out to see what he can do. But one would think, given the score, that Trinidad and Tobago will be happy with their progress in this game so far. With some 6 overs completed, they've already picked up 3 wickets, and the rate is under 5. So that suggests 2 things are wrong here with Antigua and Barbuda. 1, they're losing wickets, and 2, the rate is not the best. So there's a lot of work for Gaston Brown's men to do.
Yeah, certainly. Even the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers there have stuck to their guns in terms of their lines, their lengths. They've bowled beautifully so far. The odd delivery here and there down the leg side, but apart from that, so far has really been a good performance with the ball from the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers. They've been steady, they've been consistent, they've hit the areas more often than not, and it's a pretty good start from the Trinidad and Tobago side with the ball.
Yeah, well, suppose the score who's to my left may have to come and play some cricket for Antigua and Barbuda. Are you in the force in Antigua? Okay, you're here as a supporter. All right, fine, fair enough. All right, 28 for 3. What's your name, may I ask? Sweeney. Is that correct, Sweeney? What a name to have. Oh, is that your first or second name? Sweeney. So I can imagine that the second name must be Valentine. All right, 28 for 3. All right, so Sweeney's with us, and she's from Erlins, where Sir Andy Roberts is from. Big area there, where the big guns live. Anyhow, the action is with Antigua and Barbuda. They've got to try to get a move on here now. I think in some of these countries, the actual, I don't know if it has changed, but the fire service and the people in the police service, they do the same job. Is that still the case? Where your fire service and your policemen, they do the same job? I know Anthony Martin, fire officer, could arrest you. So a fireman can arrest you in Antigua, is that right? It depends. All right. Well, I won't want to test it, would I? All right. The action continues. So Brown is a bowler. Very gentle, but very effective here. And Morolian comes out a big, strong man. He's got a bit of a girth as well, so one would suggest he eats quite a bit of that, the national dish. What's the national dish of Antigua? Dukuna and saltfish. All right, Dukuna and saltfish. Of course, flying fish and cuckoo is the national dish in Barbados. So Dukuna is very popular, 29 for 3. Have you ever been to Antigua?
No, I have not been.
Okay.
One day, hopefully.
One day.
Once I can get the monies together.
All right.
I'm a poor guy, Andrew.
Okay. So you say. All right, 31 for 3. Well played. They'll be looking for at least 2 here, and they possibly should get 3. Let's see what happens as Morolian is not running with the pace of Usain Bolt, but gets home comfortably in the end. So 34 for 3. It's got a lot of work to do. So Gerald is on 14 from 13 balls. Patent number 3. Brown has been spot on. This is his, second over. And with 2 to come, will want to finish strongly here. Just a single. That was given lots of air wide the off stump. That's when having to drag it from outside the off stump. So the final ball of the second over from Brown will want to finish strongly. Morolian may have other ideas. Big strong man from Antigua and Barbuda. Let's see what happens. Well, he can't score. Good tight bowling. Very good indeed. So Antigua and Barbuda continue to be under some pressure. 7 gone. It's 35 for 3.
Indeed, a good over again by Brown. Good areas, quick, some deliveries, and he's slowing up a few. So he's mixing it up, as they would say, but most of the time he's on target, bang on target, keeping the batsmen from the Antigua and Barbados side, as they would say, under heavy manners. Not easy at all for them to score. No doubt, 35 for 3 would suggest that they're behind the 8 ball a bit.
Right, so we continue to get some greetings from across the Caribbean. Dighton Butler is locked on. Of course, former West Indies fast bowler played, well, at that time it used to be red ball. Of course, there's a distinction now between the white ball and the red ball. Pretty stiff ball he was. And continue to send us your greetings. 35 for 3. We start over number 8 now. Let's look at it here now. We're into over number 8. It's 36 for 3. What kind of score you think Antigua and Barbuda will be looking for here?
If we can get someone pushing on from here, I would suggest anything in the area of 140, 150.
140. All right.
150.
Well, that would be quite...
That's my projected score.
Oh, projected. Well, if they do that, then I'll become Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, replacing Mr. Brown. Of course, at one stage it used to be the land of the Browns and the Spencers. Of course, it went back as far as the Birds. Yes. Papa Bird, national hero. Of course, Bobbin Spencer was Prime Minister for about 10 years. Now, happily retired. And Gaston Brown is now the man in charge. Rather close election. Almost lost it. My good friend Colin James can't win a seat there. Hello, Colin. I know you're very much locked on as well. Maybe you need to change your constituency. 36 to 3, good old Colin James. They should get two comfortably here. Or even three. No, they're thrown to the end where Mullen is running because they know he's got ample girth, but he gets home comfortably. 3 runs. So far, it's looked pretty good playing with a straight bat. Chance for catch. Catch taken. Banged in short. Gerald didn't get really enough onto that. And might have been slightly undone by the extra pace and bounce generated by Riley. And it means that Antigua and Barbuda, they are in more trouble. All kinds of contortions now as that ball was banged in short. Hustled onto him in the air for a long time. And the fielder just coming across to take a simple catch. So Trinidad and Tobago on fire here at the Weymouth Complex. Listen to this, Antigua and Barbuda in over number 8. They have been torn apart. They're 39 for 4.
Indeed, that one was a quicker delivery. The one that you can see, he, as they would say, bend his back for that one, and the batsman was beaten for pace, attempting to hit that one in the deep mid-wicket area, and all he can do was to spool it up in the air, and the fielder from short mid-wicket came around easily, took the catch, and more trouble for the Antigua and Barbuda side.
Yeah, indeed. Well, perhaps you may have to make an adjustment to your prediction now with the loss of the 4th wicket. Are you still going 140?
I'm still sticking to
What are you going to bet on that? Your house, your land, and your car in that order?
I can't afford to take any bets at this stage, especially with those 3 that you call, Andrew.
Yes.
But I'll simply say I got a gut feeling they're going to get up to 140, 150.
Well, perhaps Sir Vivian Richards may have to come to retirement, and Sir Richie Richardson. Curtly Ambrose may have to swing his bat, the great Sir Curtly. And we all know the work of Sandy Roberts back in 1975, battled with Derek Murray against Pakistan and brought the bacon home to the West Indies. Hello to Sandy. Spoke to him yesterday, good friend of mine. So, what do we have? 39 for 4 now. And this is big trouble for Antigua and Barbuda. Lovely weather in Bridgetown. A beautiful breeze coming from Bayfield in St. Philip, where I was born and, of course, weaned. And we get it first, you know, off the Caribbean Sea. And then we lend it to you in the country. Here we go. So the new batsman is Siobhan Moore. Moore is a reasonably popular name in Barbados. Interesting to know the surnames in Antigua and Barbuda. I rather suspect that Joseph would perhaps be the most popular. I'll double check that, but I think Joseph could be very popular as a surname in Antigua and Barbuda. Sweeney nods in approval. But this has been a pretty good show by the Trinidad and Tobago side. Besai, Joseph Brown, and now Riley coming together. And the innings is rather stalled here. So 8 gone. Antigua and Barbuda in trouble. They're 40 for 4.
It's certainly a stranglehold, as you would say, from the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers. They're bowling quite well in partnerships. Accurate 98% of the time. They're giving nothing away, bang on target, as they would say. And Antigua and Barbudan batsmen are finding it difficult to score. So unless someone can, within the next remaining overs, can really play a knock out of the socks, as they would say, I suggest the Trinidad and Tobago side might be chasing a very small total here.
All right. So we were talking about the surnames in Antigua and Barbuda. Top in the list is Joseph, followed by Thomas, then Williams and James. So it's Joseph, Thomas, Williams, and James in terms of popularity for the surname in Barbados. Here's a ball which is going to get to the boundary in the end. It really went down the little slope here at Weymouth, and a welcome boundary to Antigua and Barbuda. They need many more of those. But when you look at Joseph as a surname, in fact, 3,240. And then there's a big gap because Thomas is 1,848, Williams 1,802, and James 1,687. So it would suggest that by far the most popular surname in Antigua and Barbuda is Joseph, 44 for 4. Of course, Sylvester Joseph would have played for the West Indies. Dave Joseph as well. Don't see Roberts here. Don't see Ambrose. I don't see Richie Richardson. Well, coming a distant 10th. So Brian Learwood continues to do well. If you can tell me the most popular surname in Barbados, I'll give you my house.
I would suggest it's Lovell.
Lovell. Well, then you just get you just get a voucher for lunch. Yes. Well, single was always on, really. Went behind the keeper, and the keeper had lots of work to do there, and they got the run.
So Andrew, it's not Lovell?
No, it's not Lovell.
Oh my dear.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. It's not Mason either.
Clark?
Somebody says Clark is the most popular surname in Barbados.
I'll go with Brathwaite as my second
Brathwaite.
one.
You got
Brathwaite.
Aline, very popular as well. I would think Clark will be up there as well, but we'll tell you in a minute. We'll just keep you intrigued for another minute or two. So, one to come in this over. And looking for at least two here, one would imagine. Willian will get it as well. Had he been quicker, he would have gotten 3. So, what do we have now? At the end of over number 9, Antigua and Barbuda struggling. They're 47 for 4.
Yes, a little better over for them though here in terms of runs. Some wayward bowling in the back end by the Trinidad and Tobago bowler, giving them the opportunity to get some singles, not only singles, a couple twos, looking to push on as the overs are no doubt leaving them in terms of overs remaining. Still going to go with my 140. Even though the Trinidadians are bowling well, as I said, I have that feeling somebody is going to play a knock out of their socks, so to speak, to get them up to that 140.
All right, so the prediction is 140 for Antigua and Barbuda. I'll suggest that if they get to 75, they'll do a good job, given where they are now. It's going to be difficult for them, one would think. With what? This is over number 10. I think it'd be sensible for them to try, in my view, to work the ball around, try to get to maybe 100 and try to work with those. You never know. Teams chasing sometimes don't chase well. Now, scoreboard pressure can tell, but at the moment, the men from the land of Calypso are very much in control here. The appeal for catch. Another wicket goes. Further trouble. Riley strikes. More goes. 47 for loss of 5. And they are in the doghouse here, the Antigua and Barbuda police force. They've been questioned and they've been arrested. My golly. So this is more trouble for them. A ball that was just outside the off stump. Edge found, catch taken. And again, good bowling by Riley. Have a look at that. Lovely bit of movement away from the right-handed batsman. Edge found. And the keeper poaching a very simple catch. And it's now 47 for 5 in over number 10.
Seems as though he was looking to steer that one down to third man. Got a healthy edge in the end. And easy catch for the keeper. And everybody were celebrating from the time the keeper took that one, because they knew that he was outcut and the Antiguans were in further trouble as we break at
Yep.
the end of the over for refreshments.
Yeah, 47 for loss of 5, 47 for 5 means that they are in trouble and gives us a chance to reflect on what has happened so far. Jones, a duck. Marcelin got 5, Gerald 16. Look at that. I mean, just one batsman getting into double figures. 47 for 5, 9 overs gone. And a couple of things are wrong here in terms of Antigua and Barbuda. One, they've lost half of their wickets. And the other thing about it is that the rate is a dot over 5. So that spells double trouble for them. But in terms of the bowling, I mean, when you look at it, this is good bowling. Look at Besai, 1 for 6. Joseph, 1 for 12. And Riley, who's been deceptive in his pace, 2 for 10. And Yearwood, very tight, like the local economy, picking up 1 for 4. So when you look at that, it's been a very good effort on the part of the Trinidad and Tobago side. And they're very much in a huddle, and they're quite happy with their progress so far, putting Antigua and Barbuda under tremendous pressure at Weymouth.
Well, yes, indeed, Andrew. They really, as a unit, have been bowling really, really well. And no one, in terms of bowlers, have eased the pressure whatsoever on the Antiguan and Barbudan batsmen. They kept their lanes, immaculate lanes. They were on target most of the time. And no one so far has really given away any runs in terms of loose bowling. So as a unit, it has been indeed a very good bowling performance so far.
Very good performance indeed. And 4 balls left in over number 10. We're going to have a change of commentator pretty soon. Of course, Joel Manning will come a calling. And at 47 for 5, Africa has come up to bat. Merlin's with him. And you're still sticking with 140.
I think I might have to make a slight adjustment downward.
Reluctantly.
Yes, I've been forced in the corner to do that more or less. So I'm going to go with 110 as the finals projected score.
So, 110 is the projected score as far as Donovan Lovell is concerned. And I'd suggest that if they get to 80, they'll do well. But you never know. You've got Cornelius, Bernard, Boston to come. And I'm told that these batsmen to come can throw their bats around. So the players have refreshed themselves. And music in the background is certainly pumping quite nicely at Weymouth. Just to, and I promised you about the old question of the surnames in Barbados. Of course, Barbados, 166 square miles. They tell me 287,000 people. That has gone up because I always knew it was 250. I wonder where those 37,000 came from. Maybe from Bayfield, where I was born. But can you imagine Barbados with a population of 287,000? You're in politics, is that right? Is that true?
It's almost accurate.
Almost.
Almost accurate.
All right. But in terms of the surname, listen to this. The most popular surname in Barbados is Clark, followed by Aline, then Griffith, and Brathwaite. So let me say that again. The most popular surname in Barbados is Clark, followed by Aline,
Yes.
then Griffith, and then, of course, Brathwaite. I would have thought Brathwaite would have been a little bit higher, but Clark is the most popular surname. You agree with that? In fact, Leslie Prescott said yes.
Yeah. She was spot on. She was
Spot on. Well,
So, Andrew, she's going to get your house, Andrew.
yeah, well, and land too.
A massive one, by the way.
All right, Riley to continue after the break. And Lyndon Africa has come out to bat. What a name to have, Africa. He's come out to do what he can do. Left-handed batsman. Pretty bulky individual as well. Maybe eating a lot of dukana and saltfish there in Antigua and Barbuda. Riley, slim man, and on this pitch at Weymouth, which has always been good for bowling, getting the ball to fizz through quite nicely. So 2 to come in his over, and we approach the halfway stage. Antigua and Barbuda really under the cosh, feeling the squeeze like the local economy. They need to really settle here and try to work the ball around, back with a washpan of common sense, and try to get up to maybe 80 or 90. So Linden, Africa, I imagine is a police officer in, okay. Is he a constable? Or is he the inspector? He's not quite sure. Sweeney says she's not quite sure. All right. But he gets off the mark with just 1. So 10 gone now. Antigua and Barbuda, they're 48 for 5. Time for me to take a break and welcome Joel Mannon, who is not related to the Clarks in Barbados, as I said, the most popular surname in the country.
Well, yes, indeed. Trinidad and Tobago large in charge here so far, bowling really well, and the Antigua and Barbudan batsmen finding it quite difficult to get anything really going in terms of a partnership here. Really and truthfully, as we welcome back, Joel, has been some pretty good bowling by this Trinidad and Tobago side. In terms of a bowling unit, looks to be a pretty decent one.
Yeah, certainly good bowling by them. They've really been able to restrict Antigua and Barbuda this morning. Just looking back at 10 overs yesterday, Cayman Islands were 58 for 4. And today, Antigua and Barbuda find themselves 48 for 5. Cayman Islands were only able to get up to 85 all out yesterday. Antigua and Barbuda hoping they can do a lot better than that. 10 overs left in this match. And it's Brian Yearwood to bowl his second over. Get 1. Haven't been too bad in the field today, Trinidad and Tobago. Just do 1 drop catch, a couple misfields here and there, but by and large, it's been good stuff from them, you would have to say. Easy single as I say good morning to Andrew Mason, who left and has come back in the space of 5 balls.
Make that 4. Yes, a lot of work for Antigua and Barbuda to do here. They've just reached their 50, but they've lost 5 wickets already. Joel?
The good thing about it is that still 10 overs left in this match. And if I think back to what Ravi Prasad was able to do yesterday, that 55 off of 28 deliveries, I think it was, or something similar to that. You know, just maybe an innings like that is what Antigua and Barbuda need now. Tries to work that one, can't get it away. But I must say that Trinidad and Tobago have stuck to their guns this morning, so to speak. Really bowled well in terms of the lines and lengths. They've understood the surface here at Weymouth quite early. Scamper 1 and get there. Certainly if the boundaries aren't coming, they will need a few more of those. The end of 11, 52 for 5.
Yes, it'll make interesting watching on primetime sports tonight with these 2 very meaty gentlemen running between the wickets. Have a look at this. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. 2 very meaty gentlemen. The return comes in. Is he in our frame? Just about in the frame now. One would think both of them would be comfortably over 200 pounds. And, of course, the national dish of Antigua and Barbuda's Ducana and Saltfish, I'm told. So they have quite a bit of that. But, you know, the reality really is 51 for 5. You're right, Trinidad and Tobago, they've done very well in terms of their bowling. They've been spot on in terms of control, and they've also picked up wickets as well.
Yeah, certainly picked up wickets. Michael Riley, he picked up 3. He was introduced in over number 6. And he has bowled fantastic. His 3 overs, 3 for 11. We're going to have a change of bowling, though. It's going to be Kyle Rupchand to take over now. Spear scamper, another single. The calling has really been good for them so far. Usually in a T20 game, you're looking at totals maybe of 150, 160, 170 is ideal. However, looking at the surface, I don't think that they need that many. I think it maybe get to 100, 110, 120 even. So I certainly believe that they're in this game, especially given that it's not looked very easy to score runs so far on this surface. So if they could probably get up there in the remaining 8.9 overs, 8.5 overs, sorry. Certainly could be in with a shout here in this match.
But he certainly missed out on that. It was a full toss. Should have really put that one away. He didn't.
Africa will be a little disappointed there and not getting it past the man at short mid-wicket. There's a man at deep mid-wicket, a man at deep square leg, a man on the boundary at long on. That's the leg side field for Rupchand. He too has backed up the work that was done by Michael Riley from that end. I mentioned the fact that they both 3 overs on the trot from that end. Good pace from Riley in his 3. And Rupchand here to offer a bit of a leg spin. Finding it going tough, Antigua and Barbuda. I mentioned the fact that without the boundaries, it must be a case of working the ball around, getting those 1s, getting those 2s, and looking to put a target on the board that they can defend. And there we go, a comfortable single into the leg side, vacant space, the keeper having to do the work. Just 1 delivery left in this Rupchand over, just 2 runs coming from it so far. So tight stuff still from Trinidad and Tobago. Really putting the squeeze on, you would have to say. Looking to restrict Antigua and Barbuda to less than that 100 that I would have mentioned. Oh, sweeps it into the vacant space. The chase is on, but the chase is lost. And a boundary to close out over at number 12. 58 for 5.
Yeah, strain in line there. That was outside the leg stump, almost a free hit really, having been so good in terms of control. It went to backward square, the field at forward square didn't have a chance. So that's a welcome boundary by the batsman. Antigua and Barbuda go to 58 for 5. And an over that looked very promising. In fact, the first 5 balls produced just 1, but then the last ball was way off target, and the boundary came. But overall, the Trinidad and Tobago side very much in control here.
Yeah, certainly very much in control. The breeze is still here with us at Weymouth. The flags are fluttering. I can see the flag of Antigua and Barbuda is down at the south end. The flag of Trinidad and Tobago here at what you would call the north end. I guess that'll be the happier flag of the 2 that are fluttering here in the breeze in Barbados at the moment. But still 8 overs left in this innings, and the question is, what can Antigua and Barbuda put on the board to defend? They were asked to bat this morning. It's going to be Brian Yearwood to bowl his 3rd over. The surface is still bouncing, Andrew. It tells me that if they can really get to that 100, maybe to that 110 and bowl well, they're certainly in with a shout in this match. It's not been easy to score runs on this surface. Can't get that one away. Linton Africa. Thought about one, but sent back, and probably wisely as well. The man from that 45, that short third man position, swooping onto it quite quickly. He's been doing some good work there. Probably one of the younger ones that we can see on the field at the moment. This time, they get that single, and in fact, they get 2 for the overthrow. Not good work, you would have to say, cleaning up behind the stumps by the keeper. Probably the throw also not the best. He knows the keeper, you really want that ball to be coming full to you, not looking to take it on the bounce, especially at that distance. Oh, this time he's outfoxed, and he must go back to the pavilion. So an easy catch for Yearwood, and that spells the end of Linton Africa.
It does indeed. And not a good time for him to go, because these two were just trying to work things around to try to get up to maybe 80 or so. And yes, he seemed to be in two minds about the shot, and in the end did absolutely nothing really, and offered a very simple catch to the bowler. So as you said, further trouble for Antigua and Barbuda. And in the sunshine of Weymouth, well, things are not going well for them at all. They're now 60 for 6. But when you look at this, it was as if he changed the shot at the last minute, was winding up for a big shot, then just put his bat there, and the ball just spooned back to the bowler to offer a very simple catch. So Trinidadians continue to celebrate.
Yeah, I mentioned the fact that it's not necessarily the easiest surface to play the shots, especially going through the line of the ball on that particular occasion. Linton Africa just caught in two minds, as you said, and not going through with his shot in that in-between position, and just a simple catch being offered back to Yearwood. He was not going to drop that, at least I hope he was not going to drop that. He took it to the delight of himself and those here supporting Trinidad and Tobago. A lovely tunes filling the air, lovely cricket filling the atmosphere. It's been a wonderful tournament so far, this regional police cricket tournament. A lot of action building up towards what is going to be the final at Kensington Oval, the mecca of cricket in the Caribbean. I certainly know that all the teams would want to be on show there. One man, they'll be hoping that he can get his team forward and get some points on the board for them. Vincent Shadrach Jr., a powerful name that, at the crease now for Antigua and Barbuda.
Yeah, that final is slated for the 10th at the region's mecca. Who will get there? We don't know. Barbados looking pretty good so far. St. Vincent and the Grenadines looking good as well.
The end of 13 overs, 60 for 6, Antigua and Barbuda.
The rate is under 5, and they've lost more than half of the wickets now. And in fact, just two batsmen get into double figures. Gerald on 16 and Morelli is on 15 not out. Not a lot to come, Cornelius, Bernard and Boston. So it really has been a strong goal. And when you look at the bowling, I mean, it's been so good for the Trinidadians in terms of the economy. I mean, Riley has been spot on with 3 for 11. Good support from Besai, who's been tight. And of course, Joseph and Yearwood has also picked up a wicket as well.
Well, it will be Justin Joseph back into the attack. He would have bowled the second over for Trinidad and Tobago. Just bowled the 2, so 2 remaining for him. Probably might bowl out here. You probably just think that maybe Antigua and Barbuda didn't necessarily adjust to the surface as quickly as they should in terms of looking to play a lot of shots at the top. Tries to loft that one. Doesn't get a connection. Asking a question of umpire Welch there. And she says not out. There's a look there again. Looking probably to go over the long off on that particular occasion. There's that bounce again. And why I'm saying that maybe they don't necessarily need to be targeting 120 or even 110. Maybe 100 might be enough for them there. But the question is, can they get up to that 100 mark? Well, that might help. It looked like 6, but it could be 4 just dropping inside maybe. No, in fact, signal 6 now by umpire Blade. So those are welcomed runs for Antigua and Barbuda, and welcome runs for Derek Morillion.
Yeah, he hit it from just outside the off stump, playing across it, but had a lot of bat under that. And the fielder must have just been a bit out of place. He wasn't right back in the boundary, and the ball fell behind him, and that went for 6. But as you said, every run is precious for Antigua and Barbuda here.
Certainly every run will be precious. Probably just a case of misjudgment on that particular occasion. But they feel they're doing the work down here at what we like to call Coke Corner in the Caribbean. Much quicker. They're making the adjustment. Joseph after being struck for 6. So a good over for Antigua and Barbuda, given the context and the situation that they find themselves in. All 6s on the board, 66 for 6.
Yeah, you're right about that assessment of making the adjustment. The 6 that came was the ball that was flighted, so he said, no, I'm not going to go up there again. And he was flat and fast, almost like Derek Underwood, really, and pitching the ball just outside the off stump. So it was very difficult for the batsman to score. And overall, it's been a very good effort on the part of the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers. And I certainly agree with you in terms of the bunks generated. And I think Antigua and Barbuda should be trying to make the assessment here. Look, I'm not going to get 140. Let me try and get to 100 and work with that. So it would require batting with a washpan of common sense, one would suggest. But at 66 for a loss of 6, with 14 gone, these two will have to stick around, work the ball around, look for the odd boundary and try to get to 100.
Yeah, certainly looking at it. 6 overs left in this encounter. And even if they were just to go at a run of ball, that would get them up to 102. A boundary here, rotation of strike there. Just looking to capitalize on the bad balls. They haven't been too many bowled by Trinidad and Tobago thus far. But given that, just a quick assessment in terms of looking to work that ball around. A bit of running repairs probably being done at the moment now. We saw one of those balls just bounce out to the surface, probably just getting the glove. I do believe that is Derek Morillion, who had to get a bit of repairs done to him. But he seems to be fine, seems to be ready to go again. He's been out there for some time, at 21 off of 17. He's been the anchor since being out there, and they'll be hoping that he can carry on.
For our viewers, let me let you know as well that at 2 o'clock, the host Barbados will be playing against Grenada. So that's at 2 o'clock. Today, Barbados have won both of their matches quite comfortably. St. Vincent, they've been pretty good as well.
And Brian Yearwood to bowl his final over. And he starts with a dot ball. He's really been good so far. Just 10 runs coming from the 3.1 overs that he's bowled so far. 13 dots in it. Dot balls are always crucial in the T20 game. And he might have another wicket here. Oh, it falls just short, agonizingly short of two men converging on that one. Just talked again about looking to play certain shots, especially on the up when the ball isn't there. A lot of bounce out of the surface, that one taking the upper part of the bat of Vincent Shadrack. Good stuff by Brian Yearwood. It's always been interesting in terms of the dismissals for Antigua and Barbuda, in terms of just being caught in between as we get that replay. Just giving himself some room, having to abort the shot.
He was undone by the bounce generated there as well. And he went a long way in the offside as well. Backward point came in and almost took the catch.
You also probably have to make the adjustment in terms of the time, in terms of waiting a little bit longer to play those types of shots as well on the surface. Thinks about one, but good fielding. The fielding certainly has been good by Trinidad and Tobago.
Field placing as well in the offside. There's a short third man, and there's also the backward point inside the circle, saving one. So just trying to stifle the batsman in that general direction.
Can't make a connection there. So a brilliant 4 overs for Yearwood comes to an end. Just 10 runs from his 4 at the end of 15 at 66 for 6.
Well, we mentioned that Barbados will be playing against Grenada at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Also, at Lears, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be playing against the British Virgin Islands. That game starts at 2 o'clock today. And you better keep your eyes on St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They look pretty solid. Very impressive in their victory. So they'll be looking to beat the BVI. That game starts at 2 o'clock. The weather's good. Had a little bit of rain this morning. In fact, it delayed the start. But generally, very difficult conditions for the farmers in Barbados. And I suggest throughout the Caribbean as well. So I've been told.
Yeah, certainly hot and dry. It was in Antigua a couple of weeks ago, and it was a little dry there as well in Trinidad for the past 3 weeks, and relatively dry in the grass fires there as well. A couple here in Barbados. Looks to work that one. Probably just be a single. Joseph into his final over. Actually, instead, singled wide by umpire Blades. String in line there was Joseph. We're into the business end, crunch time, the final 5 overs of the first match of this morning. Goes big, gets a good connection, and just what Antigua and Barbuda needed, a boundary for them.
Yeah, that's welcome. Very welcome here. That was given some air just on the off stump, and he hit it powerfully straight as well. Very well played indeed.
It just goes back to what is a flatter length, making that adjustment. Guilty, probably flighting it too much on the previous occasion. You've realized that everything bowled into the surface hasn't really produced runs. And, just straying from that plot and that plan there was Joseph. Once again, going into the surface and batters finding it difficult to really get anything on it. And he commits to cardinal sin, a no ball. And that is going to be a free hit, a gift for Vincent Shadrack. Will he accept it with both hands is the question.
Yeah, let's see what he does here. They need runs. He'll be looking to hit that ball, I would imagine, into Waterford bottom. Let's see what happens here.
Well, he goes sky high, but into the breeze, and just a single for them. So doesn't capitalize on the gift offered.
Looked a bit anxious. Didn't quite get to the pit of it. And rather scoffed it down at long on for just one. We'd be disappointed about that.
Just one for them. So the score ticking along. They're into the 70s, 75 for 6. Just one delivery left. And Joseph's final over, 27 runs. He's conceded across his 3.5. Goes for an almighty heave. But a dot ball to end over at number 16. 4 to go, 75 for 6.
Certainly a good comeback by the bowler, having been hit straight for 4. He's making the adjustment to his line and keeping it tight. But yes, I mean, you're now into a situation where you've got just 4 overs left now. And, you know, it's Gerald 16, Merlin 22. The only 2 batsmen to get into double figures. So that will give you some ideas to the struggle of Antigua and Barbuda here.
Yeah, the bowler certainly on point. Masai got them off to a good start as well as Joseph. But Riley certainly was a difference maker in terms of what would be almost those middle overs, you would have to say. Picking up 3 and bowling quite well also. So Damien Brown is back, bowled 2 overs. So far, 2 for 12. Just conceding 1 boundary. He goes back to what we saw him bowl in the earlier overs as I say good morning again to Donovan. Yeah, just flat and fast and not really giving the batters any chance to get under it.
Oh yeah, certainly. The Trinidadian side continues to dominate here, bowling wise, and obviously the Antiguans continue, unfortunately, to struggle a bit.
Just held it back a bit, looking towards that deep mid-wicket area. Was Marilyn just coming off the bottom end of the bat. This time they had a single into that offside. Score ticks up to 76 for 6. Just 3.2 overs remaining. I heard you mentioning 140. You adjusted maybe to maybe a 120, a 110. Are we still around those kind of areas?
It's looking as though what they need to do is to back the remaining deliveries, and wherever that takes them, see if they can defend it.
Well, that certainly was a lot closer than we thought at first. It looked to be a